Okay, so one of the things I kind of wanted to give as an update after being gone now from the workforce at an older part of life now is that the purpose of my life has really been brought to the forefront. Like the job or the many jobs over the years have been the reason that I was running out the house every day. I got up to go to the job because I was a mother. I had to do that. And my daughter's grown now, and I'm still a major component to that entire process. But this became this moment of I gotta take care of myself. Something really bad could happen here if I don't listen to what I'm feeling. So I chose to take care of myself. Let me tell you, as I have said, I think over at some other platforms and even here in shorts, this sleeping pattern has been probably the biggest thing that I've had to adjust to. Like, we sleeping today? We sleeping at night? How much research we doing? Do we have coffee for this tomorrow? Can we touch enough crystals to evoke that effect that makes you stay awake? Okay, that. But the research, I'm gonna tell you, there were times I was at jobs. That's all I was living to go and do was research. And I always, fortunately, was at jobs where it didn't matter if I was online. It really didn't. As the advent was coming in and I was getting more and more interested in being online, at every job I could be at, I could be printing stuff, reading it, taking care of my work, doing whatever. But that was like my daily job. My job was obviously doing the work that I did at the companies, but I don't think that they would be, raising their hands going, oh, we loved her. Because really, my job was learning everything that I possibly could about spirituality, especially in my late 20s into my early 30s. Please, that's all I was studying. And I was a part of so many communities. I know everybody probably remembers Yahoo groups and Tribe. Like, those were major places for spiritual communities, for people were talking. A lot of very popular people came out of those groups who are doing extremely well for themselves now. Okay. So much stuff that is so, I don't want to call it new or trendy, but stuff that has probably been around for eons. We discovered when we were in our late 20s, right? That was all part of all that research I was doing, researching and studying my astrological chart. And I'm getting even deeper into that now than I ever have been, right? I have always been a researcher, and I've always shared my findings with the world in some way or another. I always did it. It's driving me crazy. It was just what I had to do, because I felt like if this could help me, it can help you. Like, that's why I'm always recommending Spiritual Cleansings by Dreja Mikaharic. It is a very good basic book. If you are not a spiritualist, but you're in the beginning of wanting to learn about spiritual baths, get that book. It is on Amazon. Get the book. Don't do the Kindle. Get the book, because you're going to want to write in it. You understand? Yeah. Okay. So I've been recommending that book and baths in that book for 20 years. Easily 20 years. Yeah, because I was recommended that book by a master herbalist here where I live years ago. And I wasn't going to work with her because, once again, through all my research, I started to learn about people like Queen Afua and reading her books and stuff like that, reading the first book that was green at the time when I got my hands on it. And I knew that I would be meeting up with her counterpart here in the city that I live in. And so when I met up with her, and I knew her and the master herbalist was so on point. She just let me know, like, she don't like me. And so you may not want to tell her that you know me. And I haven't even kept in touch with that lady. I don't know where she is to this day. But she recommended the book to me. I got a little herb from her, which was like, I think it might have been some peppermint or something like that. And we had a very long talk. It was probably one of the biggest conversations that I could have about spirituality. And then studying the book that she recommended, which is this, it's a little book. It's like this thin, right? But it is amazing. And I started telling her what I was doing, and she was like, well, you do these spells in your life and this happens. And I was like, spells? She's like, you're doing spells. I was like, I am. And they were working. They were working. I mean, like I said, I've gotten many forms of employment over the years, okay? And what I have learned is that bathing in herbs really does change your life. My very first bath I took was instructed in that book. It's the parsley and cinnamon bath. It is a powerful bath, okay? Especially if you're first coming to this process. It's just one of the best baths out there. And I remember I took that bath for the series of days. I think it was 7. And by the end of the 7th day, I was getting a call back from a job that I really needed. They had a mass call. I did not think I was going to get a call back. I got a call back, and I could take care of me and my daughter. That was very important to me. So seeing that happen, I just went headlong into researching all kinds of things in the spiritual community. But as far as my eye and my reach would take me at the time, which was quite far. But I remember that I was going to work. I enjoyed getting up to go to work. I was so excited about it because I could do research. That's why I loved going to work. I was so grateful for every single job I ever had because I could sit there during the day, make money, and research about herbs, about energy, light, about crystals. I mean, you name it, okay? And then when I eventually met with the woman I would work here who studied under Queen Afua for quite some time, I work with her. I still keep in touch with her to this day. She's one of my mentors. She had books I was studying and reading, It became this process. And so that was my purpose. My purpose was to research. Now, this purpose thing comes back to being at the forefront of my life. Comes back to essentially saying, what's your purpose now? Because you done researched yourself all the way all over the globe, lady. What you doing next? I think that probably the next part of my life will really involve hands-on and in-person research, or probably going to destinations and learning wherever I'm invited to. Not trying to put myself in on places, but go wherever I'm invited to and experience those experiences. I've had a lot of spiritual experiences, and I love the path that my life has taken. I had to say that, especially when it comes to spirit. I'm a very grateful being when it comes to that, period. Every person that has been in my path to show me things, to be there when drums were going and Orishas were coming down, to be at a function and learning mediumship with under the tutelage of a priest and another priest as a baby priest myself, it has been an amazing ride, and I mean that from my heart. I'm telling you. And so it's just that now this process is here, and I'm sitting here going, what's next? Right? I know that a big part of it has been, part of what's next is you're going to get some sleep. Like, girl, you're going to get some sleep. You're going to get some rest, because you've been ripping and running for a long time, and you've been carrying heavy bags on your back. The last thing I was always carrying every day was my pocketbook, which is very heavy. And then my computer bag, which was heavy. Okay? Every day. When that stopped, the freedom that my shoulders feel is cathartic. I mean it. Like, I don't feel like I don't carry no bags no more. My bag is still heavy, but I've even lightened that. It used to like I used to put books in it and everything, so I could be reading on the train and all that. It has been an update and understanding who am I now that this is not my focus. I'm not going here to report to this place to ask someone what do I need to do today, or this project is done, this is done, blah 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 blah. I'm not there to read the, I'm not there for that anymore. That's not my purpose in life. And I remember when I let go and just went with the flow of everything. Hello, Moldavite. It was within 3 months. That's 2.5 months. Okay. When I realized that time was coming, and I finally made the announcement, it was there. It was very clear. The timing was there. There was no confusion. I had checked out of the job. I really wasn't doing everything that I should have been doing. And it was because I became aware of some very interesting, cantankerous stuff going on. And I was just like, the change is coming. And I knew it was coming. But when it got there, I remember I said, my life is bigger than this. My life is bigger than this. You have to understand, I worked in higher ed for my last job. And it just got to be enough already. It's just like there's so much handling that goes on in that. And those who are in higher ed that may be itching to leave would agree with me. Those who are just getting there and grateful to be there will think it is the best thing since sliced bread. We're all in different places when it comes to this process. But the update has been that my purpose is now centering me, going like, what are you doing next? Like, what's next? And it's just like, okay, well, you think when you make these decisions, you have a plan in your mind. I had a plan. I promise you I had a plan. And then my plan took and said, that ain't the plan no more. First off, you're going to sleep. And I keep saying this because part of the masculine energy that we use so much as women going into the workforce every day wears you down to the nub. And I get emotional about that because I'm truly tired. And I acknowledge my tiredness and my femininity of like, I'm not moving today. I'm not going nowhere. I will do as much content as I feel to do. And people who are watching me on social media right now have noticed that there are days I hit you with 20 videos and then you don't see me for a few days, right? That's the ebb and the flow of what's going on, right? But the joy of it has been, I can sleep. I don't have to get up and push myself with that dull, weird ache in my throat and my heart area, hoping that I don't miss a train, or that if I do miss a train, I've got to send this simple text message to let everybody know I'm running late. Like, that's done. That was a rigmarole. And I know it is for a lot of people that work every single day. I know for some people, it's the other side of that. Like, I must be ready. Boom, 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 boom. Right? But I know that it's definitely the other stuff too. And then I know there are the very laissez-faire people who just are like, I want to get there when I get there. And, y'all gonna stress. Right? But nonetheless, there is that vibration going on within your system that is no longer. That's gone. Right? The next thing is that I no longer feel so separated from my family. And it's just becoming very apparent to me that, and it was something that actually pissed me off when I was young and my daughter was much younger, that while being very grateful for having been gainfully employed many, many, many years, it was also very hard for me as a mother to leave my child. It was very hard. It was extremely hard. And I had a moment, I remember one day when she was very young, where I broke down because I don't feel that it is a natural process for one to just get up, have these children, and just leave them. It wasn't for me. And it's something I fought, and it had an impact on her to the point that most of I think the influence that I feel as mom, I've come to recognize, girl, you shared that with grandma. Like, what? You were mom, but you weren't there. You were working every day. And you were working a lot of hours. And now you get to be there. You get to be around, but she's grown now. So if it's one thing that I would give to the world, I hope that women find a way to take the time and be mothers if they're actual mothers. This world of ripping and running away from our children to provide for our children, there's a very big imbalance in that. And maybe a little bit more planning around parenthood, but that doesn't really make it, because there are people who plan children all the way out and still realize that they are scratching the walls and don't want to be with them all day. And there are people who don't plan them and figure it out, and it's just like, I'm going with the ebb and flow of how I feel, and me and these mammary glands are not separating from this kid yet, so God bless everybody else. See you later. Right? And so I hope that women and men really come to a place of understanding that when you are ushering in another being, it's not that your life becomes about that person, but they need to know who you are. People at our jobs don't really know who we are, but they spend more time with us. And a lot of the time, they spend more time with us with hateful energy. Imagine that. You giving all your energy over to these people, and they don't like you. Meanwhile, your child doesn't know you because you're with these people all day. It is a very strange existence in which to live, and it is the part of the American process. Because culturally, this isn't happening everywhere, but it is happening here, honey. So I just want to sum things up. I'll be coming here with little updates from time to time, but the focus is recentering. The purpose is starting to come forward. And I hope that those who are going along with me on this journey and listen to me talk about this garner something from me, and it helps your life. Peace, everybody.